Hello and welcome to the introduction of our new SmartSafety application. Just want to show you in a few steps how to set up tracking and alarm notifications with a new app. So the first one is you go to ProteGear.io, you authenticate by Google or Facebook, and then you choose SmartSafety. You will see the dashboard here, which already shows some devices that are yours. Now you can go to the menu and you see from bottom to top what you should build up. So the first one is the devices. You can give them names and also mark them as a rescue device if it's an InReach Explorer or Explorer Plus. If you make any changes, go to Save, and the next thing is you go to Notifications. Here you can set up different channels of notifications and also different recipients within each group. So for example, the emails, you can put in several emails and you can also make a send test message. You can set up several SMS recipients and also here send a test message by SMS. You can also include InReach devices, or you could eventually also make a webhook with external systems that should trigger any specific action in terms of an alarm. So the next step would be to go to Profiles. We have already set up one profile here, all alarms, and here you decide what kind of state and state change from your devices should be triggering an alarm. So you have SOS, you have the zone alerts for the geofences, you have battery, deadman switch, and here at deadman switch you have to enter the timeout, which is normally the interval when your device sends a tracking signal. When it's every 10 minutes, you would enter 600 seconds. The second line is now giving the maximum timeout if you're in a pause mode. That means when you work with an InReach device and you put your preset message 1 to the word pause, and whenever you are making a pause, that means you're not moving less, you're moving less than 100 meters, and you send the preset message 1 with the word pause, then the deadman switch will be silent, will not be triggered within this second timeout. So for this we give 1 hour, which is 3,600 seconds. That means that the pause should not take longer than 1 hour. Then there is an alarm. Nevertheless, you send a pause message. Of course, you can set this also to 1 day or even further. Here you can also activate the pause mode. And you can also say that this pause mode is only valid for a certain period of time per day. So we click on Save here. Now we go to the next step, which is the fleets. The fleets just marks a combination, a group of devices. Let's say some tracking devices, we call that. And we give this, for example, these 3 devices should be inside this fleet. So here you can see now these are the devices in this fleet. The next step would be to set up the tour. The tour is a combination of geofences. We set up a brand new one here with the plus sign. We call it Tour 1. And it's important to say what is the base layer. That means the whole planet Earth without any layers. Is it a dangerous zone or is it a safe zone? So in this case, we call it a danger zone. That means we have to set safe zones later where your devices should be inside. The opposite would be to say, for example, we want the Earth to be safe, and just when we place some zones that are dangerous, then there should be an alarm. So let's keep it with danger. And then we click on geographic, and here you see the base layer is red. That means the whole Earth is red. Now you add a layer. Now we need to have a safe layer. and you can easily draw a polygon or a rectangle or a circle. Let's make a polygon here. It's very simple. You close it here, and you have a safe zone. So this is the first very easy part. But now you can also have overlapping layers and with different status. That means you can have now a danger zone within a safe zone, for example. Let's say like the whole part here is safe, but except this little part here is dangerous. So that means when there is a device within the green zone, but then it enters the red zone within the green zone, it gives an alarm because the danger layer is up on top of the safe layer. If you want to edit here something, you have to choose the layer that you want to work in. You will always see only the zones that are in the currently selected layers or the ones below. So if you want to change or see the dangerous layers, you have to choose that layer. Then you can go here to edit it, and you just change the size or change the position, and you click again on save. You could also add a name, dangerous 1, and you can, in the save layer, of course, you can also save 1, which makes it later easier to determine which is what. You could also add a REST layer, which is not giving any alarm, for example, your home, and which would not trigger any kind of automatic alarm. So we go back here and click on save. Now the last step that we have to do is set up a trace. A trace combines all the things we have set before, from devices up to trace, into a group of action devices and alarms. We would call this here trace 1. We have just one fleet now, which is some tracking devices called. It has three devices inside. The tour we have done is tour 1. We could also choose the whole world, which is only suitable for tracking but not for alarm. You could choose here a floating secure fence also. Later than in the map, you would see that you could add at one device. You could choose one device and set a radius in meters, like 300 meters. That would always move with this device, and all the other devices have to stick within those 300 meters, otherwise it could give an alarm. You would choose the profile, what kind of alarms you want, and then you add the alarm scenarios. There will be more in the near future, like crash detection, acceleration detection, and other scenarios that you can choose here. Now, for the moment, we have battery, we have deadman, we have SOS, and we have all the zone alarms. What's also new is you can now choose that you get a message when the state has been reached or it has been resolved. That means you would get now an email alarm when the battery is below 25%. And with this hook, you would also get an email when the battery is charged again. The same with all the other incidents. When there is a device that can trigger an SOS, but it can also cancel the SOS, and you have both of this, you would always get the message also when the SOS is canceled. Of course, you can choose it differently for SMS, email, InReach devices, etc. So, for example, we could say that the zone alarm should only go to the InReach, while the deadman alarm should go to the SMS. And what's also new, you can set up a time frame for every kind of alarm. For example, let's say the deadman switch should only be done during the day. And you also need to choose your time zone here. The same is, you could say like the deadman switch should be triggered during the day and 1 hour during the night. So you just add another deadman switch here and restrict this deadman switch for 1 hour during the night. And yeah, of course, you also have to set this alarm here. So that is everything you need to set up a trace. Now you click on Start to save all the setup, and now you see that first trace, and it's also active, which you can see on this red blinking light. If you click on that and it's green, that means there will be no alarms. If you click again, it will trigger the alarms or the alarm surveillance on. If you click here on this cross, it will show you your traces, and it will show you also your own position if you are having a smartphone or GPS embedded enabled device. On this part, you will also see the devices, and as soon as you have at least one tracking signal, you can see more information here. In the meantime, I have opened up another demonstration tracking, which shows the dynamic fences, some part of Fuerteventura here. And you can see here one ship, actually, should that be called Argo. It has a dynamic fence, and it's in green state. It is accompanied by 3 boats, tender 1, 2, 3, and whenever they are out of range of the Argo, then they could trigger an alarm, and you would always see this here on this part of the screen. When you click on that, you will see the full information of that device, what was the actual state, what alarms might have been triggered, but in this case the alarm surveillance is green, so it's not active. And of course you see the latest details and positions. And you can see now all the 3 tenders are outside the dynamic fence. Now tender 2 is back in the pause zone, so there is no real problem here in the rest zone, but the others are still outside. Here you can also choose to activate the alarms, and now the alarms will come by SMS, email, etc. So we switch that off again. You could see here, you see that there is an alarm about the zone, the danger zone has been issued. Okay, yeah, that's more or less what I can show you for tonight. And thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We're glad to answer any kind of information here. Thank you very much, and goodbye.